My name is Elizabeth Sharp, and I'm an Associate Professor of Human Development and Family Studies and an affiliate faculty member with Women's Studies. My areas of research include qualitative methodology, arts and social science, transdisciplinary research. I study gender. I study people's ideologies about femininity and masculinity and their family ideologies. I also have a thread of my work that studies single people, particularly single women, and eating disorder recovery. I have several projects open right now. The biggest one is I've been working with a dance choreographer for the past 3 years, and we're currently writing a book about our experience working together. She took some of my qualitative work and did a kinesthetic, this bodily analysis with it, and we have presented a full dance performance, a concert using professional actors and dancers. And so we've received a lot of attention. This is considered transdisciplinary work, and so I've been doing a lot of work on that. That project features 2 of my qualitative projects, which are also open right now. One is we studied women transitioning from being single to married. We asked them about their weddings and what's it like to be what's it like to be a wife. And so I'm finishing up a couple papers with that, and I'm looking at the princess/bridezilla paradox and troubling that. And then my other line, another part of that, a different study, is single women, ages 25 to 40, women that were choosing not to get married and or having children. So this resistance to sort of conventional ideologies of femininity. And then I have other work about single women and eating disorder recovery, and then college women, their romantic relationships, beliefs, and how that affects disordered eating. That's a quantitative study, but most of my work is qualitative. I teach an undergrad class on gender development. We look at the ways in which gender is understood and experienced from womb to tomb, from birth to death, essentially. That class is cross-listed with women's studies. I also have a graduate level gender development course, which is a more advanced course in that area. And I teach qualitative methods to graduate students. And then I sometimes teach undergrad theories class. I like my students to get experience in all aspects of the research projects, so it varies, but my students help me collect data. Sometimes they help me think of new ideas for new projects. They can help me analyze the data. They help me write. We do conference presentations together. We do a lot of reflecting on the process. So really, usually students working with me get the whole gamut, which also includes data management and data formatting and all those sort of things. But also the sort of more conceptual work, I usually include my students in those. And I have several projects. So usually if there's something a student's interested in one of my projects, I often can find space to have them be part of my research team. I have a Ph.D. in Human Development and Family Studies, and then a concentration in Women's Studies, and I have a minor in college teaching. One thing I would like the students to know about me is that I just came back from living in England for 2 years. I was there and I had an honorary fellowship and a visiting scholar position. And so I believe now that those 2 years I spent a lot of time forging relationships with British scholars, but also going to a lot of talks. So I feel really energized, and I have a lot of interesting ideas from living over in the United Kingdom for 2 years. So that's something that I think my students now, because I just came back this year in 2014, and then my future students would benefit from. The other thing I would say is all of my work is couched in feminist framing. I do have a women's studies undergrad, minor, and then a concentration in graduate school, and then I'm an affiliate faculty member. So I really find feminist framing to be very beneficial. I think it brings a really critical questions to the research, and I've had leadership roles as a feminist family scholar in our national conference, and I have found that most students, when they're introduced to feminist theory, the academic thought, really feel challenged by it, but also feel very, find it useful. In terms of Lubbock and Texas Tech, I think that this is a great place for students to come and really focus on their work. There's a lot of supportive networks at this university and mechanisms in place for students to be very successful. I am from Pennsylvania, so moving to Lubbock, Texas was a bit different for me, but I was able to adjust and now am quite settled here. So if people are concerned about that aspect of just living in Lubbock, I'd be happy to talk to people about that.